Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, today Matchbox March continues and we have the Aeritalia FIAT G-91Y from Matchbox. So this is one of the later kits. It's their PK-34 and it's actually dated. Does it have a date on it? Sometimes they do and sometimes they just don't bother. Let's have a look. This is after the original Lesney ownership, I'm sorry to say, because for me Matchbox was Lesney really, and it was never the same after Lesney no longer owned the business. They went bust in about 82. Yes, it's 1983, so it's another 83 iteration, second generation Matchbox you might call it. But we've got here some interesting options on the back for this interesting aeroplane. So I say it's often known as the Fiat G91, and it is the 32nd Squadron of the Fighter Bomber Group, 13th Fighter Bomber Group, at Brindisi, Casale in Italy. And there's another option in that's in 78, or there's a 76 option which is at Milano, at Servia Milano Maritima. So it sounds like it's the Maritime Strike Force. So, not much on the side apart from a rather slightly iffy sort of image of what it looked like if you don't paint it. Not that I mind that at all, but I'm just not sure about the style of the way that the artwork was portrayed. I'm not sure I like it really. Anywho, let us see what it's like, because I've never seen this. I had the Airfix one back in the late 70s. I don't ever had the Matchbox one now. This is not owned by me. This is lent to us by David, our good friend of the channel. And he picked this up while I was at the show at Nantwich recently, so this is hot off the press. Somebody has bagged it for us in a Ziploc bag, which is quite cool. Not a bad idea. Let's see if I can gently get this out. There we go. So, two sprues, dark green, pale grey. The first thing you notice straight away in these 83 issue kits, which I forgot to mention when I did the recent Panther, there's no stand, which is a real loss actually, to be honest. The Matchbox stand in the shape of an M was one of the best designs of the whole industry, because it had this sturdy, and it had this ball and cup system at the top, so you could tilt the model, which you couldn't do with Airfix. You could tilt it and have it at angles, climbing, diving, banking and turning, and that was revolutionary, and it was really, you know, punching above its weight really. So we kind of miss it in these later ones that don't have it. I'm presuming that Lesney, because it had Lesney's name on, they obviously never agreed to let anybody else use it, and Revell have never used it either, so there we go. Right, so we have got here, we've got some old Matchbox decals, and we know what they can be like. First of all, they stick to the backing. Well, actually, okay, they're okay. I won't peel it all the way off, it wouldn't be fair to David, but sometimes it's important to let it release a little bit, otherwise they just become permanent. So, you can see we've got some fairly nice markings, in fact. Quite nice shark's mouth there, look. Look at that. Lovely bit of shark's mouth for you. Check it out, look at that. Nice. So I reckon that those are probably still usable, in all fairness. That's good news. Then we've got our destructions. Again, they've dropped the purple range sort of appearance that it used to have. These used to be purple. Let's have a read about what a little bit of history that they're going to give us is all about. You can't beat a bit of data, can you? It says, basically an improved version of the G-91R single-engine lightweight ground attack aircraft by an increase in wing area of 10% and an improved thrust weight ratio obtained by using two engines performance and warload capacity had been considerably improved. The resultant aircraft being, although a low-cost machine, has an advanced navigation system and a transonic performance in the dive. Flying control systems are conventional, but automatic leading edge slats give improved manoeuvrability. First prototype flew in 1966 and the type entered service in 1971. Well, I first saw it about 72, I think, the kit from Airfix. I think I'm right in saying that. Here we go then. So this is one of the later Matchbox kits, not from their original ownership. And here we've got the markings guide, and we've got our paint guide here, and oh yes, more markings advice. And I notice this has got very yellowed. Been in a window or something, I suspect that has. Definitely. Somebody's had this folded up and left it in a window that way up. That side white, that side yellow. Another of these strange vertical instruction books, leaflets. Fairly standard stuff, you know, pilot, seat, that's kind of it. That's the cockpit. Then you're building up your tanks and your weapons, and you can put your pilot and squeeze in between the two fuselage halves. Very conventional stuff in terms of top and bottom wing. All going together, complete with your guns on the side, canopy coming down, little intake, pieces for the intake going on there. Then underneath, all your gear is going to go in, arrestor hook, gear doors, and then you move on to your weapons. You've got master rocket pods and bombs, or master rocket pods and drop tanks here. Then you've got your simplified small parts paint guide at the bottom. There they are, engines being painted, etc. Okay, well, there we are. Interesting. No surprises there, really. So, let's have a look at our sort of olivey green coloured sprue. 2 sprues obviously plus a canopy. We've actually got raised and recessed panel line combination here. Yeah, not sure I like that, but anyway, it's got the yeah, definitely raised along the side and then recessed here for the panel lines. Quite a nice looking plane, the Fiat, isn't it? Got our Matra rocket missile tips there. Got your engine exits here, jet exits, which are not hollow, which is actually a bit disappointing. Matchbox usually did that better, in fairness. Looks like this might have been rushed into production. And you've got to bear in mind this was actually produced at the time when there were some slightly dodgy quality coming out, because Lesney had gone into administration, and these guys were basically rushing to get that looks not finished to me. That's not how Matchbox used to do it, in fairness. And it smacks of desperation and financial problems and things being not quite finished when they were rushed into production. Anyway, here we have the wings and the bombs and all the grey, pale grey sprue. So we've got our strakes on the top of the wing there, which I never liked. That's one thing on this aircraft that always kind of irritated me. It always makes me think, when you see huge strakes on a wing like that, it always makes me think that is just bad aerodynamics, really. It's a wing fence to get around some other issue with the wing shaping, where you've got a bleed of air, a bit like a Formula 1 car with all its bits of carbon fibre being added, you know. It's a rather inelegant solution. There's your wing tanks, you've got all your wheels, those Matra rocket pods are here. Got your bombs there, your pilot. All very straightforward stuff. one thing you can be sure, you can bet that those parts go together really, really well. Not like my recent complaint about the Edouard Zero. I use that as an example, saying Matchbox click in, and theirs didn't, which is what I was moaning about. And they had like 50-year advantage over Matchbox, so not good. But anyway, I don't want to go down that road again. Here is the canopy for our G91. Yeah, and again, it's of its time. You know, it's not quite the clarity that we expect in modern canopies, but a little bit. It's had a bit of scuffing over the years as well, which won't have helped it, I'm sure. I mean, this is what is it? 39, 40 years old. 41 years old, isn't it? 41. Not young. Wish I looked that good at 41 though. So there we have it. There we have it. So there's another interesting Matchbox kit, one that we haven't really seen before. Most of it is as I would expect, really, for that time. The only thing that jumped out at me and was a bit vexing was, as I mentioned, was the tailpipes. That to me looks a bit unfinished, I'd say. And it's a little bit disappointing, because that's not how they were doing things really on these jets at the time. It just looks like that was dashed into production to get some money churned out as quickly as possible, really. Anyway, there we go. It's a shame about the box not having the window box, which I much preferred. Gave them a lot of character. But it's a competent little kit. And we have to give it a rating now. We have to give it a rating that is time corrected for 1983. I think it's I think that's that little disappointment there with the little bit of disappointment with the these. The flap's not going to work on me now, is it? It doesn't want to go back in. Anyway, there we go. 8.5 out of 10 is where I'm at, I think. Slightly disappointed by the jet pipes, because that's not really the way that they used to do it, and you won't see others like the Jaguar, not done like that, it's just flat at the end. That's a bit crude, isn't it? Other than that, very nice little kit, good clear instructions, you know. Decals actually look quite decent. An interesting Matchbox from back in the day. So there we go. Hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 with a like, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have done, remember to ding the notification bell and don't miss the ticking the all option. That's it from me for now. We've got one or two more of these that might interest and excite you coming through. Keep your eyes peeled for those and other videos that I hope will entertain you in the not too distant future. In the meantime, thank you very much for your time. Hope you'll stay well, stay safe. Thanks a lot. Until next time, bye for now.